I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
In the world of K-pop, full of control, perfect images, and regimented routines, it's rare for an artist to dare to speak out, especially if their name is as big as BTS. But what happens if one of them, a global icon like Kim Taehyung, decides to go against the grain and reveal a truth that's been deeply buried? Taehyung is no ordinary idol. He's known for his sharp personality, honest expression, and courage to think outside the box. But recently, his courage surpassed anyone's expectations. In a move that shook the foundations of the K-pop industry, Taehyung revealed a major secret, something that HYBE, the agency that made BTS famous, had carefully hidden. What exactly was he hiding? And why now? According to various sources and Taehyung's own implicit admission, the system HYBE has built over the years actually harbors a dark side. Behind the glittering stages and millions of albums sold, there's psychological pressure, restrictions on freedom, and unilateral decision-making that ignores the humanity of the BTS members. Taehyung, who had always appeared calm and artistic, had long harbored a sense of frustration. He felt constrained by a system that enforced a certain image, restricted his movements, and even silenced voices that sought to express their freedom of thought and feeling. And now, when the world's attention was less focused on BTS due to the members' military service, Taehyung took the opportunity to voice what could no longer be contained. What was Taehyung saying? It wasn't just about himself. He was talking about all the members of BTS, about how major decisions in their lives, including their solo careers, public appearances, and even personal expression, often stemmed not from their own desires, but rather from corporate design to maintain image and profit. And even more shockingly, HYBE, in its effort to maintain complete control over BTS, was said to have systematically minimized the space for discussion and voice of its artists. In other words, even a superstar as big as Taehyung had been playing a role in a pre-written scenario. Taehyung's statement not only became a heated topic among ARMYs, but also sparked widespread discussion within the South Korean entertainment industry. Many saw this as the beginning of a major change, a revolution in how agencies treat their artists. However, Taehyung's boldness, of course, came with consequences. HYBE began to show signs of strain. They could no longer silence a voice that had already been heard worldwide. In this situation, the public began to wonder, was this the beginning of Taehyung's separation from his agency? Or would this be a moment of reflection for HYBE to create a more humane space for its artists? The ARMY was divided. Some continued to believe in the system and the success it had built, but many were beginning to open their eyes and support Taehyung's actions as a form of resistance against an overly restrictive system. Many said, if Taehyung doesn't speak up, who will? Behind this controversy, one thing became increasingly clear. BTS is no longer just an idol group portrayed as flawless. They are human beings. They have desires, wounds, fears, and hopes. And now, through Taehyung, all of that is beginning to be revealed. The big question now hung in the air: how would HYBE respond? Will they shut down this voice of resistance? Or will they begin to open their eyes and give BTS, and perhaps other artists under their wing, greater freedom? Whatever happens, this is a turning point. Taehyung has opened a door, and perhaps, once this door is opened, there will be no turning back. However, what Taehyung did was more than just a momentary emotional outburst. It was the result of accumulated fatigue, neglect, and a longing for the personal space they'd never truly had since their debut. In a world where every move, smile, and word had to be approved by the agency, being yourself was nearly impossible. And when Taehyung spoke up, he wasn't just speaking as BTS's V, but as a symbol of the idols who had been silenced by the system. Taehyung knew full well that his decision wouldn't be accepted by everyone. He risked losing endorsements, contracts, and even his future in an industry so reliant on image. But he chose to move forward, knowing that silence would only prolong the pain. And more than that, he knew he wasn't alone. Many young artists, perhaps even fellow BTS members, harbored similar concerns. It's just that not all of them had the courage to speak up. On the other hand, HYBE's reaction wasn't immediate, but was felt in their suddenly more cautious and considered actions. They began to avoid questions about internal conflict, and several media appearances that were supposed to feature Taehyung were suddenly cancelled without any clear reason. This only further strengthened the suspicion that what Taehyung was talking about was not just a figment of their imagination. Industry observers began to speculate. Would this be a moment of change in the K-pop industry's notoriously authoritarian management? Would idols finally be given the space to determine their own career paths without having to completely submit to the agency's script? More than that, ARMY began to form two camps. On one side, there were those who continued to believe that HYBE knew what was best for BTS, having brought them to the top of the world. But on the other side, a growing number began to voice their concerns that the members had been trapped for too long in an industry machine that prioritized image over humanity. They didn't want to see their beloved idols become puppets in a system they couldn't control. And amidst all this, one big question inevitably arose. What about the other BTS members? Do they feel the same way? Is their silence a sign of fear or loyalty? Some speculate that Jungkook's recent silence may be justified. He seems quieter, even withdrawing from the spotlight. Jimin also seems more cautious with his statements, as if he's holding back something significant. Suga, known for his sensitivity to justice, has also not commented. Could this be a sign that they support Taehyung but aren't yet ready to face the consequences? If this is true, then what we're seeing now isn't just Taehyung's lone act, but the potential beginnings of a silent resistance, a form of silent protest that's more powerful than 1,000 words. It's possible that the members have been protecting each other, waiting for the right moment to speak out, and Taehyung is simply the catalyst. HYBE is now faced with two extreme choices: accommodate their artists' voices, or tighten control and maintain the old, fractious system. Both are risky, but if they continue down the old path, HYBE must prepare for a wave of change that could shake the entire industry from its very foundations. And for Taehyung, though the path he has chosen is steep and full of uncertainty, one thing is now clear. He no longer wants to be just an entertainment product. He wants to be human, a whole person, with a voice, rights, and control over his own life. Is HYBE ready for that? Or will they, like so many other agencies, choose to cling to power and lose the best person they ever had? Because if one brave voice can open the world's eyes, imagine what would happen if all the members spoke up. This journey isn't over yet. This is just the beginning.